Hello, everyone. This is Megan,
And this is Alana.
and welcome to Tea Time Crimes. Hello.
We're here.
How are you doing, Alana?
I'm good. We've had a friend visiting, and so it's always fun. We get to go do things we normally wouldn't, just the two of us. So it's been a fun
That
weekend.
is fun. You get to kind of act like a tourist in your city sometimes. It's nice.
Yeah.
Well, I've got some news. Brad and I are living out our own true crime, and we are criminals.
Excuse me?
So Brad's parents, who are amazing and hilarious, came to visit us a while ago, and they treated us to dinner, and Brad ordered it through DoorDash, and then he never took their credit card off, and they have been buying us DoorDash dinners for months.
And nobody realized this.
Nobody knew. They didn't know. Brad didn't know. We owe them a lot of money at this point. Like,
God.
an amount of money that makes me realize how much we order takeout. It's like,
Right.
oh no.
Oh.
So Brad's a criminal. He's fraud, theft, and I'm an accomplice. And I can only hope that Kay and Dennis don't press charges.
Oh God. Oh God. That's hilarious.
I know. I mean, Brad was trying to figure it out whose it was.
Yeah, I get a random text from Megan being like, "Is this your credit card?" And I'm like, "No."
I was hoping to God it wasn't you because you haven't been here in a long time. A very long time.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're going to have to take out a loan to pay her back. Yeah, suddenly it just hit me. I go, oh, it's your mom. Oh, no. And then he called and it was. And of course, he's giving him a hard time. How did you guys not know? And I mean, they didn't. And Brad's dad is very thrifty. So I imagine this is very upsetting to him. And I was.
I'm sure they're not on Venmo. Like, how's that
No,
work?
God,
Send
no.
a check?
They actually said that they're going to have to call the bank on Monday and have them go over each DoorDash charge with them so we can get a full total.
Seriously?
They don't even have online access to their bank. Yeah. So
sounds like you're in for a journey.
Yeah, so we'll be waiting for that total, and then we're going to have to send them a check in the mail. And hopefully that will put our crime spree to an end.
Yeah. Watch out. You're getting a taste of theft.
Oh, gosh.
Exhilarating.
Yeah. So, yeah, I screamed on the phone, "Thanks for dinner, guys," for the last several months. I mean, it's shocking that they didn't notice. I told Brad it's a little shocking he didn't notice, but he disagreed.
I mean, if it's already automatically set.
Yeah. Which makes me think DoorDash should have an option that allows you to say, would you like to save this card or use it for one time?
Request that feature.
DoorDash people, I assume you're all listening. Put that into
obviously.
your product management team. Yeah, so Brad's a criminal. And
smooth criminal. It was
we
smooth.
eat a lot of takeout. Those are the lessons from that. Yikes. But today is the day that the puppies get to meet.
That's very exciting. I hope you're gonna, set up some tripods, document the moments.
Yeah, tripods.
I told Brad that he needs to, like how baby, what do they call them? Parents. Wow. Will take pictures of their baby each month.
Yeah.
Human baby.
Yeah.
You should be doing that with Banksy and Harlow.
Oh my gosh, we should have.
And see, because otherwise it's really hard to see their growth.
Yeah, I have my son's old board. We should have put fill it out just like they do their months and how many teeth and what they like. You can still do it
now. Like they're really new. I regret not doing that with Noke because it goes so fast and you're with them all the time. Sometimes you don't see each stage of growth and it's just like so cute when people do it.
I know. I feel like the little one really I feel like I kind of missed out on his true puppyhood because he was so isolated and I didn't really get to see him that much. He
Oh,
was
he's
up,
still such a puppy, though.
but he's
God, he's 3
doubled in
months, right?
size. Yeah, he's 3 months, but he
How many
doubled in
pounds would you
size.
say is he?
He's about 8 pounds.
Oh my God, he's like barely bigger than Nymeria.
But when we got him, he was only 4 pounds and he was really sick. So he was in the
That's
hospital
pitiful.
a week. I didn't see him. He was mostly with Brad. I would only see him like once a
Right.
day for a little bit or twice a day. I didn't get to spend time with him. So now he just looks so big to me.
He's 3 months.
I can still hold him though. I can still tuck him up under my arm and
he's
carry
little.
him. Yeah, I can't wait to see them together though. I don't know if they're gonna if he's gonna get trampled or what, but
probably. But that's all part of it.
But anyway, you said you're excited for your tea, so let's hear it.
All right. So yesterday we were out in a boat in New Orleans, and near one of my favorite bookstores across the street, I was like, what is this sign? It's like, it looked like a tea room sign. And I was like, I've never seen this before.
What is this sign?
But it went down like this alley that is as big as like if my shoulders went out. Like I have very broad shoulders. And if they, I do.
They're average size.
They're big and strong. I'm not good. 2 feet wide.
So you barely fit between 2 buildings.
Yes, exactly. And so it was this whole like tea event, like a little art, like a little market. And it was down this long alley, and it like went out to a little round place where there were different sellers of stuff. And I never discovered this person.
Okay.
And there's a whole tea shop.
Hold on. What? Your description is killing me. Went down this long alley where there's a round place with sellers.
It's accurate.
This also sounds incredibly dangerous. Did Marianne Cotton have a booth?
Maybe. But it was like crystal cellar, not meth, like like nice crystals, jewelry.
I understand.
Yeah,
rocks,
like things like that. Like there was this a bakery was there selling their goods, like stuff like that. And then there's this little cool those are outside. And then there's this little cool shop that was really small. You can go in. It was like a tea shop. And so that's where this tea is from. So I'm very excited about it. I talked to the person who makes them. I tried one of her iced teas yesterday, and it was delicious. But I picked up a chai blend. So she makes all of that. I do love a chai.
I love chai.
So Queenly Conjure is her brand, and it's devoted to the customs of Black Indigenous community healers. And so her stuff is a blend of lunar magic divine, the heritage of folk magic, and the culture and importance of root work, which comes from like African American folklore and spirituality.
Whoa.
It was just
cool. Is this tea magic?
I mean, could be. She called some of her teas potions.
What's going to happen? I want to go there.
I know, but you know what? She is closing her shop, and she's doing like more. She's going to tour around more.
Well, that dream got dashed pretty quick.
Okay, but in this blend, so this is a herbal tea for a boost in determination to finish goals and focused problem solving. I love that. It has ginger root, cinnamon, rubios, cardamom, cloves, nutmeg, ashwagandha. Hold on.
Nope, nailed it.
Ashwagandha and allspice. Okay. I took a picture of the blend as well as the bag because it's really cool. There's a lot of colors in it, and there's little balls. Might be cardamom.
There's little balls in it.
Actually, I don't think it's cardamom. Anyways, so yeah, I'm very, very excited to try it. And you should check her out.
Are you putting milk in this?
So yeah, it does recommend putting milk in it, even though it's herbal.
How do you check her out if she's moving?
She has a website that I will post in the Instagram.
Cool.
And I'll tag her also in our post so that you could just click on her.
Nice. Did you tell her about TTC?
I didn't even. I know.
I'm the worst. You gotta tell the tea people.
I know. But I'm gonna tag her and hello, Queenly Conjure, if you're listening. Okay, loved your shop. Here we go. Ready?
Oh, I'm ready. Edge of my seat.
It smells divine. Like even when you open the tea box,
it smells like divinity. Bottle that.
There you go. And this is herbal, so there's no black tea in it, which is unusual for a chai.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, actually.
Ooh. So the ginger really comes through. And then so the nutmeg and the clove will kind of come sit on the tongue thereafter. And it's nice and light because it's herbal, right? There's not that depth of black tea. This is nice. Like this would be the perfect companion to studying or doing something creative, like something to focus on. You get little sips of this for invigoration.
Oh. Can we get a thumb rating, please? Hold on, third sip. Gotta really let it melt over the taste buds. Her face looks so pleased.
Thrusting thumbs up.
A thrusting thumbs up. Oh, okay.
Yep.
It's back.
Yep.
She's ignored my request to remove thrusting and left it in as an adjective. Okay, great. I love when you have a good tea. You're also going to like today's story, I feel.
I hope so.
I owed you after last week.
Yeah, last week was rough.
Yeah, I owed you after last week. So get in your time machine.
Oh,
okay.
Time machines.
Okay. Not too far. We don't have to go too far. Today's case takes place in 1898.
Okay.
And it was sensational. The newspapers ate it up. The San Francisco Call describes it as, and I quote, a story that told of unbridled, vulgar passion in a man and woman without refinement, education, or the common restraints of decency.
Whoa. Spicy.
Yeah. So before we get into this unrefined chaos, let me just introduce the players, okay? You have Cordelia Brown Botkin.
It's a fun name.
Born in Missouri in 1854. Not sure when. She was the daughter of Richard Brown Jr. and Lamina Alderman, and she was one of 5 children. In the fall of 1872, so she'd be about 18, depending what month she was born, Cordelia marries Welcome Botkin, who's 15 years her senior.
Gross.
Can you earmuff for a second? I'm calling it now. Alana's going to make a welcome name pun.
Oh, sorry, I had to take a sip of tea, but now I'm back.
So Cordelia and Welcome get married. And Welcome is a man of means.
Welcome is his name. Welcome.
Yep.
Welcome home.
Yes, that was so quick.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
When I earmuffed you, I said, Alana makes a welcome pun before this podcast is over. I wasn't expecting it that fast. I thought maybe once we got into it a little bit. Anyway, he has a good job. He spends a lot of years at the Armor Packing Company, and together the two of them have a son, Beverly Brown Botkin, who was born in December of 1872.
Wait.
Yes, Beverly.
Beverly Brown. What is it? Botkin?
Botkin.
I mean, that Beverly Brown Botkin. Really, he should be a jazz musician.
I don't think that's what happened, but
please continue. Sorry.
So I assume they had to get married because she was pregnant, because they got married and he was born
Birds and the Bees
a couple months later, and that math doesn't pan out.
Yeah, it's not really how it
Even
works.
for me. So Cordelia is a confident woman. Oh boy. Man. And she likes to enjoy life. She likes the pleasures and finer things.
Candy.
One of her humble brags is that she has been photographed in over 100 poses.
I don't like how you said poses.
Well, that's how she emits it. Her favorite pose being, ready? Hands behind the head. Yeah, just like that. So she interlace your fingers behind your head and let your elbows kind of flare out, and then she would have a look of satisfaction on her face. That was jaw-dropping for the late 1800s.
It sounds like a pinup thing.
Yeah, but here's the thing. She's got a collar up to her eyeballs, and she's got sleeves down to her wrists. Oh, because
it's the late 1800s.
Yeah, I mean, it's hilarious. The bar for morality is cracking me up in this case. Cordelia's just something else. Now, to be fair to Cordelia, she's living in a world that's pretty buttoned up, okay? So here are a few examples. I'm going to give you 3 examples of proper etiquette, which are from Manual of Social and Business Form by Thomas E. Hill. And this was published in 1875. Are you ready?
I'm not.
Ready? A gentleman should not bow from a window to a lady on the street, though he may bow slightly from the street upon being recognized by a lady in a window. Such recognition should, however, generally be avoided, as gossip is likely to attach undue importance to it when seen by others.
Wow.
So don't bend over if anybody's in a window.
Don't do it. I swear to God.
It's just
what about waving?
So racy. I don't know. I mean, waving seems insane.
I know. Maybe a little nod of the head and a wink.
A wink? You're going to get locked up for winking in this time period. Okay, number 2. No topic of absorbing interest may be admitted to polite conversation. It might lead to discussion.
Absorbing interest, like being interested in a conversation?
I think you can only talk about the weather. I don't know. You cannot have any discussions.
God, like there's a real pile up with the horse and carriage on Street 3 of this tiny town.
The traffic.
Did you see the cloud? Wow, that looks like a bunny. Oh, too interested. I'm sorry. I'll roll it back.
The traffic. Number 3, this is my favorite. When crossing the pavement, a lady should raise her dress with the right hand a little above the ankle. To raise the dress with both hands is vulgar and can only be excused when mud is very deep.
Vulgar.
So, I mean, you can
Watch
see
out.
how hands behind the head is just shocking. Okay, you got Cordelia and her hardworking, wealthy husband, Welcome, and they are in California. She was born in Missouri, but they're actually in California. Okay. And then you have the Dunning family. So John Dunning is a foreign war correspondent for the Associated Press.
Wow.
And he marries his wife, Mary Elizabeth Pennington, in 1891, and they have a young daughter, and they move to San Francisco because John is in charge of the West Coast Bureau.
Oh.
Now, Mary Elizabeth, who is known as Elizabeth, is from a well-to-do family. Her father was a congressman in Delaware, and she's a woman of faith. And she's a woman who upholds the etiquette. Like she's lifting with the right hand, just the right amount, jumping over puddles. Okay?
There is no bowing.
Yeah, there's no window bowing. Like she's got it together. And she's very kind. She's well-liked. John's a little intense. Okay?
Uh-oh.
One fine day in San Francisco, they're all in San Francisco now at this point, and it's 1895. So Cordelia's son is now an adult. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And John is riding his bike Golden Gate Park, and it breaks down. He stops to repair it, and Cordelia catches his eye, obviously. I mean, she's exuding pheromones just at an alarming rate. She's about 41 at this time, which is about 10 years older than him.
Wow.
And he's enamored with her. He asks to see her again. She says her name is Mrs. Curtis and that her husband lives in England, and she's here. They live separately, and she's here to secure a divorce. But John is definitely married with a young daughter at home. Okay. Now, we know that that's not true. She eventually tells him her real name, but her and Welcome do have an arrangement. Welcome lives in Stockton, California, and Cordelia lives in San Francisco, and they have an arrangement. They've been together for a lot of years, and a divorce is really not possible or very rare.
Yeah.
And so they just kind of live separately, and that seems to work for them. But John and his wife do not have that same arrangement. Mary Elizabeth just has too much class for these shenanigans, and John and Cordelia start this torrid affair, and they're together for about a year before she finds out.
Oh, God.
And when she finds out about the affair, she tells John she's leaving, and she actually returns to Delaware with her daughter, which I got to give her credit for. I feel like a lot of women in that time period wouldn't.
Time of day.
Time of day. She did it at noon on the dot. It was just insane. She should have waited till at least 2 p.m.
I mean, the traffic.
So, I mean, she stays married to him because it's the 1800s, but she refuses to be a part of that. She also doesn't like San Francisco.
I'm with her.
She doesn't really have any friends. It's not her jam.
Not her cup of tea, if you will.
Yeah, it's not her cup of tea. Good one.
I just winked, by the way. Don't jail me.
Oh, I'm going to have to call the sheriff. Elizabeth goes back and lives with her daughter, and she stays with her parents. Her sister's there, her whole family.
Okay, that's not terrible.
John and Cordelia are living it up, and they are doing everything in excess. First off, Cordelia is not the only woman that John's dating.
Okay.
Or, let me rephrase that. Cordelia is not the only woman John is intimate with, but he is probably the only woman that he has a relationship
like regular.
With. Yeah.
Okay.
But he's drinking pretty heavily.
Not tea.
He's gambling pretty heavily. No.
Got it.
And he gets in quite a bit of gambling debt.
Oh, God.
And he runs into some trouble.
It's never a good idea.
Which part?
Gambling. Like
cheating on your wife.
Well,
drinking,
sure.
gambling.
But you'll lose eventually. You're not going to keep winning, okay, folks?
He is short about $4,000.
That's which seems like a lot back then.
Yeah. And he's in a little bit of trouble. So he has a great idea to solve it. He's just going to borrow some money from the office just to cover his spread.
Sir, that's not a good idea.
Some people call that embezzling.
Some people would. And what a great word, embezzle, by the way. I've always loved it. It's a great word.
Maybe you should name your firstborn that. And call her M for short. John's job actually just fires him. I'm surprised that they don't do more, but they just fire him and they release him from his position because he stole $4,000. So now he's disgraced. He's fired. He's out of work. And he's pretty much drinking and partying his life away. He starts to have some regrets and asks himself some tough questions. In 1898, the Spanish-American War starts.
Oh.
Hold on, I'll get to the deets in a second. I know you love your war details. And the Associated Press says, all right, we're going to give you a second shot as a war correspondent and send you off.
I didn't know the Associated Press was around for this long. It's pretty cool. They're still like a reliable news source.
Thanks for the plug. So the Spanish-American War is from April to December of 1898. And according to history.com, it's the conflict between the United States and Spain that ended Spanish colonial rule on the Americans and resulted in the U.S. acquisition of territories in the Western Pacific and Latin America.
Yes.
Okay. Does that fulfill your war trivia needs?
It does. I mean, specifically in New Orleans, it was passed from the French to the Spanish to the Americas. That's why our blend of culture is so cool down here.
That was an excellent tidbit.
Thanks.
So John is going off to war, kind of. And Cordelia sees him off.
Waves a little tissue at him.
Well, she goes as far as she can go. And as he's getting ready to leave, getting on whatever he's getting on, he goes, oh, BT dubs. By the way, when I'm done with this assignment, I'm actually going to go back to my wife. So it's been fun. I'll catch you later.
Oh, she probably hopes he dies in combat.
Cordelia is devastated.
Yeah.
She's not happy. This confident woman is torn down. There are no pictures for her that week. She's very upset.
No posing.
She's very upset. She even tries to become a Red Cross nurse so that she can go be with him at wherever he's stationed, and that doesn't pan out. So Cordelia is crying herself to sleep in San Francisco at Hotel Victoria, which is where she stays when she's in the city.
Okay.
And meanwhile, in Delaware, kind, respectable Mary Elizabeth is raising her daughter. And like I said, she lives with her parents, and her sister Ida is there. They're all very close. On August 9th of 1898, Elizabeth receives a really sweet gift in the mail. It's a box of chocolates. It's a white box tied in a pink satin ribbon, and it has bonbons and gold scrawl across the top. There's also a handkerchief inside, and there's a note that reads, with love, doesn't read chloroform. It reads, with love to yourself and baby, Mrs. C. Now, Mrs. C, it's short for the full name, but Mrs. C was Elizabeth's only real friend in San Francisco.
Oh.
Okay. So Elizabeth loves chocolate, which I'm with you. Totally.
Yeah, same.
And that day, she has 3 of the chocolates.
Marianne.
Her sister, Ida, also loves chocolate. So Ida has 2. And then Elizabeth, because she's kind, shares it with everybody there.
Oh my God, so everybody dies.
Okay, calm down. 7 people have these chocolates. So Elizabeth, Ida's daughter, Elizabeth's daughter, their nephew, and then 2 friends who stopped by, 2 neighbors. Now, like you've been yelling, it's not long before every single person who had a chocolate becomes ill. The father is immediately suspicious of the chocolates because he and his wife had not had any, but they'd had dinner. And then the neighbors had chocolates, but they hadn't had dinner. So it's the only common denominator between all the people who got sick, right? And a chemist will later confirm that the chocolates are, in fact, filled with arsenic. For days, the family is sick, but slowly, most of them recover, except for Mary Elizabeth and her sister Ida.
Oh, no.
They had the most chocolate, so obviously the most arsenic, and they die a very painful death.
They died?
Yes, both of them. Do you have a question?
I have a comment.
You don't have to raise your hand for comments. You are a co-host.
Oh my God, I can't believe, like, she had a chance to not send, like, this is not an impulsive thing. Like, it's not stabbing someone in the throat, right? This is like, I'm going to.
You always are stabbing throats.
I mean,
in your
hypothetical. It's one of the softest part of the body.
Okay, stop saying that.
Like, you have a chance to like roll it back. Like, oh, I'm gonna get arsenic and I'm gonna get chocolates and I'm gonna put them together. And like each stage, I'm gonna wrap the box and write a note. Like each stage, you have a chance to say, maybe I don't want to kill her. Maybe this is not a great idea. And it's a whole thing. Like, this is not just an impulse of a moment.
Yeah, this is very planned out. Also, you're making assumptions. I assume when you say her, you mean Cordelia, and you don't know yet.
Okay, put some 2 dots together.
I mean, you're 100% accurate, but yes, it's gross. So, okay.
Or Mary Elizabeth and her sister Ida, which is
okay. So the doctors originally diagnosed Ida with, they think it's cholera. They don't know. But she goes into convulsions and dies in immense pain on August 11th at the age of 44. So after Ida passes, Elizabeth actually seems to improve a little bit. And the doctors thought it was possible that she might survive. Later that night, she suffered a relapse and she died, which makes it more cruel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's terrible.
Before Elizabeth died, she asked the doctor if she was going to die, and he told her to keep up hope. And she said, I want to know, because if I'm going to die, I want to say something. And she died before she could finish.
What would she
nobody
say?
knows.
To who? Wow.
I don't know.
Maybe a burning secret. Maybe she knew where like some long lost treasure was and they could go on a whole adventure.
My bet was she was going to speak her mind a little bit. I feel that she is a woman who probably kept it pretty buttoned up.
Yeah, probably. Just like her turtleneck dress.
Yeah. So she died on August 12th, which is just a day after her sister, at the age of 35.
That's so sad.
Obviously, this is, it's sad. 2 young women die a painful death and they leave behind their children. But what makes this extra sad is that Mary Elizabeth's parents had already lost 2 of their sons.
Oh, man.
One as an adult in 1886 and the other as a young child in 1861, which means that Elizabeth's death meant they had outlived every single one of their children.
That's
which
so
I can't
horrific.
imagine a greater pain than that.
Yeah, that's the ultimate pain. They have their grandchildren. That's some consolation, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Cordelia.
So John Dunning, Elizabeth's husband, he's in Puerto Rico at that time. He's informed of his wife's death, and he rushes home as much as one can rush home. I mean, he gets on a boat.
1800s.
Takes a minute. But Elizabeth and Ida's father, John Brown Pennington, he starts an investigation. At first, they can't figure out, are the candies poisoned on purpose or was it an accident? Because you remember arsenic is, around.
It's in things.
And it wasn't as though an accident with arsenic hadn't happened before. But Mr. Pennington is insistent that it was on purpose, and he believes that Elizabeth and her daughter were the targets. He doesn't think anyone else was supposed to have the candy. And he's suspicious because the handwriting on the note, with love to you and baby, matches anonymous letters that Elizabeth had received previously. And those letters were never released, but they were believed to give details of John's affairs in San Francisco from an anonymous source. He remembers those letters because he handed one to Elizabeth from San Francisco. She read it, and after she read it, she said, "Don't ever hand me a letter with that handwriting again." Whoa. And so he actually received a second one and he kept it. So he is feeling a lot of guilt because he says if he had seen the package and had seen the handwriting or known it was from San Francisco, he wouldn't have let his daughters eat it. Now, the Problem is, the investigators don't know where to start because Elizabeth is so kind. She has 0 enemies.
Right.
0 enemies. They're like, everybody loves her. I don't know. And this is the first case of murder by mail. And the people are just flabbergasted because, like you said, this is so much planning. This seems so devious and so mean and so vicious.
Just wait, folks. It gets a lot
and
worse.
Elizabeth is so kind. The state of Delaware offers a $2,000 reward for the capture of this criminal, which is the largest reward at that time. I mean, to date at that time.
Yeah.
When good old John rolls into Delaware, his wife and sister-in-law have already been buried. They didn't wait for him.
Well, he should be kind of a concerned party because, like, she had moved back to her family. Like, there's something there, right? Obviously.
Yeah. Oh, they're mad at him. Yeah.
Okay.
They're not happy about this. Some sources say he named Cordelia right away, but other sources say that he was actually tight-lipped and refused to give names even to the family about who he'd had affairs with. And it was not until Cordelia was mentioned in a paper that John admitted to the affair.
A paper? Like an article related to
like
the
a newspaper.
killing?
Either way, Cordelia is the main suspect and the investigation begins, okay? Now, no autopsy was done on these women because the doctors told them that a couple of different things. One source said the arsenic would be out of their system because they were so violently ill, and that's not true.
Yeah.
An autopsy should have absolutely been done, and it wasn't, which is kind of a bummer. But further analysis of the candy, they found that in 3 pieces, they had 3 pieces that they tested because Mr. Pennington saved the box.
Smart.
As soon as, yeah, he's a smart dude. Each piece contained enough to kill 4 people.
Oh my God.
Isn't that a common theme with these poisoners? They always go way overboard.
Way overboard. I mean, like,
always.
She had 3 of them.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I mean, and 3 doesn't even, like, I probably would have had 100 of them.
Whole box. Yum.
And they, I wouldn't even have
Is it bad that I want chocolate right now? It's a
little bit weird. There were also little lumps of arsenic, like little grounds.
Come on.
And originally they thought that the candy was homemade, but then they discovered what they think actually happened is that the arsenic was injected and then the chocolates were re-dipped to hide any tampering. They were unable to find where the chocolates came from initially, and there was also a fight over jurisdiction. So Delaware wants to try Cordelia in Delaware because that's where the murder happened.
Okay.
But California wants to keep Cordelia, their argument being you can't convict someone of committing a crime in a state that they've never stepped foot in.
That is interesting. That's a interesting legal case. I'm eager to know what prevailed.
Well, wait no longer. California won. So authorities in Delaware give California a heads up, hey, you need to apprehend this suspect.
Okay, because she did the crime in California.
Yeah, essentially. The police show up to Welcome's house in Stockton, and there's another opportunity. Are you going to take it?
I'm trying not to, but did he welcome them in?
There it is. That's where I thought you were going to have your original one. And they say that when they showed up, Cordelia said, "The horror is over. I have suffered all the humiliation. I am ready."
Ew.
But then she asked if she could just real quick pack some things. And they let her. And it took 2 deputies to carry out her trunk of clothes. I didn't realize you could pack for jail. Is that allowed?
I don't think so. You have a uniform.
You just pack a suitcase? I mean, I think that's kind of nice, you know? She just wears her own clothes. She brought a whole big trunk. The trial begins in San Francisco in the winter of 1898. Hundreds of people show up to watch this thing. Front page on all the papers because it's so shocking. And the paper I told you, like that initial quote, just ripping apart John and Cordelia. They write things like, "The photographs indicate plainly the woman's excessive vanity and her fondness for posing." Yeah, hands behind the head, just
love
out of control. Their eyeballs would have fallen out if they'd waited 50 years.
Right. Yikes.
So the defense starts off trying to prove that the illness could have come from another source, right? Like maybe the dinner they ate was bad, or maybe the cook who made it doesn't like them, all these things. All the people who were sick are called to the stand. and they're questioned about what they ate for dinner, which was fish and corn fritters, if you're wondering. But the fact that the neighbors had the candy and did not have dinner, and the fact that the parents had the dinner but didn't have the candy, is kind of an obvious win for the prosecution. And one of the friends stated that she found a crystal in her candy, which we now know to be a grain of arsenic.
A bad crystal, folks. This is a bad crystal.
Yeah, it was the second crystal we talked about. They had also found, the investigators had found where Cordelia bought her candy, and they brought in every single employee, from owner to clerk to janitor, trying to find that as a possible source of contamination.
Got it. I mean, but I feel bad for their brand. Like, it must have just tanked.
Well, even the cleaners said, we don't use poison. We use cats to keep mice out. There's everybody.
I was wondering where that was going.
Everybody in that candy company said, no, we don't use arsenic on anything.
We only have cat hair. We don't have arsenic.
Cat hair's not going to hurt you. But I mean, arsenic was in cleaning supplies and things like that, and they don't use it in anything. All the survivors from Delaware, the nephew goes first, and he's the one who picked up the box from the post office and actually handed it to his aunt. And he testified that he had a chocolate or candy, and he felt ill the next day. Headache, vomiting, extreme thirst.
So it's a little surprising to me that the adults died and not the children, because the children are smaller.
I doubt, honestly, they're that much smaller because these are teenagers.
Okay.
Yeah, they were teenagers and they're older, and they only had one. And also there were different kinds of candy. And I assume that might have also there's some candies that are going to hold the arsenic more.
Right, like nugget.
Yeah.
It's a weird word. Like maybe a almond one would be hard to inject into.
Yeah, like if you think of a solid chocolate, that's going to be hard to inject, but a cream-filled chocolate, which is the ones I always go for. Chocolate. I'm Elizabeth. I'm done. Yeah, I'm out. I'm eating 5 cream-filled chocolates and dying before dinner. So, and then Ida's daughter testified that she took one candy and she found lumps in her mouth, and she actually removed it. So that's probably why she didn't get as much arsenic. She removed these lumps and she threw them down. And one even stuck to her gum and she had to pick it off. And she had all the same symptoms as her cousin, but she also had ulcerations along her gums where the lumps had touched.
Okay.
So it's pretty clear that the poison's coming from the chocolates. Hello.
Yeah.
In addition to the analysis that they did from the chemist.
Mm-hmm.
But the defense also grills the postal worker who delivered it, thinking maybe it was misdelivered, right? They're really grasping at straws.
Oh.
And it was a case of mistaken identity, or it's the post office's fault. It is not the post office's fault. Get off the USPS. My dad was a mail carrier for 40 years. The postal clerk said, no, I put that package in the Dunning's box. And they said, well, how could you possibly remember? He said, I only have 350 PO boxes, and it was the only package I got that day.
But also, how is that a defense? Like, her crime was when she put poison in and mailed it.
Well, they're trying to say that it wasn't they're trying to do anything to cast doubt that it was Cordelia who had anything to do with it.
Got it.
Because the postmark wasn't very clear, so they weren't 100% sure.
Okay, got it.
It was from San Francisco. For a minute, they're just trying to any kind of doubt. So they're thinking like maybe it was from somewhere else, and they're just blaming Cordelia because she had an affair with her husband. So the prosecution, though, they've done their homework, and they discovered that Cordelia had bought the chocolates at Market Street Candy Store at the end of July. And she'd asked the clerk to leave off the packaging, the distinctive packaging that would have the name of the store on it, and to leave room for an extra gift, which was believed to be the handkerchief that she put in. And so both clerks ID'd her and remember her because it's a weird thing to ask for. Nobody else has ever asked
She didn't need to do that. Like, let's be honest. She could have, maybe she's trying to protect the brand, but I don't know why. I mean, it's a weird thing to do.
I think, she's not trying to protect the brand. She's trying to protect knowing where it came from. Protect the brand. It's her favorite chocolate store. She didn't want to go under. Door.
Got it. Well, you could have Sharpied it out. We didn't have Sharpies, but like put some horse manure. No, that was not permanent.
What? I also, what's the point of
ink?
Sharpie. Oh, I see what you're saying. Sharpied it out. Oh, I mean, I don't know. What's the point of the handkerchief? Why is that necessary?
Maybe there's arsenic on it.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, so both clerks remember that because it was unusual and weird. And then the handkerchief that she put in had the name of the store still on it.
Good job. So we didn't even need to go through all that.
We didn't even need, could have just wrapped the bonbons.
Cordelia.
And this woman remembers Cordelia and can ID her and remembers that woman is giving Hotel Victoria as her address. And so the defense is all over her. How could you possibly remember her? You have so many customers. And the woman says, because she looks exactly like my mother. And then she pulls out a picture of her mother and everybody gasps. Apparently, Cordelia does look like the woman's mother, and that's why she remembered her.
Is that her long lost mother?
No.
Random.
I mean, her mother is a separate person. And then other witnesses testify that Cordelia, in fact, bought arsenic at Owl Drugstore that summer, and she said she needed it to bleach a hat. I mean, can't you just buy bleach?
I don't know if bleach exists.
Does it exist? Oh, maybe not. But get off her back, the defense says, because she bought powder arsenic, not lump arsenic.
Yeah.
Idiots. And through this, they're asking people to ID her, and they just keep describing Cordelia as a short, stout, flashily dressed woman, which I think is supposed to be mean. I mean, it sounds, flashily dressed sounds nice now, but I think back in the day it was like a real burn.
Right.
It's like a Victorian burn right there.
Victorian burn.
The investigators had also searched Cordelia's room at the hotel, and they found remnants of the chocolate package. So the original seal, which she would have had to broken off, ends of the pink ribbon because she had to repackage it, and bits of paper because she had to, open everything, like bits of brown paper that it was in. And the post office clerk remembers mailing it, get this, because Mrs. John Dunning was so close to his name that he remembered it. His name is John Dunnigan.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
I mean, just bad luck. She looks like the dead mother, or I don't know if she's dead. She looks like the mother. She's got the same name as the clerk.
But
not planning this.
Not all bad luck. These crimes don't get solved very quickly because there's no there's
no telephone.
Is there a telephone at this point? I don't know when it was invented. Let's be honest. I'm trying to think of Downton Abbey when it came to the house. There's like not very quick forms of communication. And so it's like, get rid of the bits in your house, go for a long walk, and dump them in downtown San Fran, Stop
helping the murderers.
I'm just saying, if we're already going down this path, make smarter decisions.
At this time in the investigation, John also admits that, yes, that's Cordelia's handwriting. I believe he has love letters to prove it as well.
Oh, boy.
However, the writing on the actual package is very different from the writing in the note, which I don't see why that's a big deal. Who cares? But they obsessed about this, saying, it doesn't match. It doesn't match. And a handwriting expert got on the stand and said he believed that Cordelia wrote the note on the inside and then just tried to disguise her handwriting on the outside a little bit more.
Got it.
Because it's had a lot of the same characteristics. It just looked like somebody had exaggerated some of them.
Interesting. Okay.
Things like that.
To be a handwriting expert.
But that to me seems so stupid because you could just ask the clerk at the post office to write it for you.
Right. He's already remembering you, so.
He already knows your full name. So when John Dunning takes the stand, he is not well liked. He is described by the paper, the San Francisco Call, whose presence on the witness stand was moral pollution.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And they have little sound bites that say things like shocking immorality and unbridled lust. Orgies at 927 Gary Street were described in merciless detail.
Oh.
I mean, they go nuts. Yeah, I didn't see any descriptions of that, but whatever. So Dunning testifies and he refuses to name the other women that he had affairs with, so they lock him up in jail.
Wow. It's kind of surprising.
He admitted, yeah, that's what they said. He admitted he had been with many other women, but some of them he didn't recall their names, but he refused to name anybody he remembered.
Huh.
Which is, I don't know if it was an honorable move or if he was just if he didn't want anything to be moved off of Cordelia.
I don't know.
Because that's what the defense is asking for. They're trying to get another person to blame, right? Could be one of his many lovers, not just Cordelia.
Right.
Anyway, they paint a picture, they destroy John on the stand. They paint a picture of a gambling drunk who actually was contemplating death by suicide, and Cordelia saved him and kept him alive and took care of him, and because he was in the depths of despair until he went off on his assignment. And then Cordelia was so scorned because she had been so nurturing and kind and so in love with him that she had gone insane and
God.
So these are all the things against Cordelia. She's got her friends are coming up and testifying and saying that she also asked a lot of questions about poison. One night she fell ill and they called the doctor. And when the doctor got there, she used that as an opportunity to grill him on poisons, saying, "Oh, maybe I was poisoned. What would it be like if I had been poisoned by this?"
Wow. So her friends did that? Do you think you would testify against me?
I mean, did you murder somebody by mail?
Not that I know of, but I can't read the future.
I mean, I would have to like see you in action.
Okay.
I'd really need some proof.
Got it.
I mean, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? If you saw me murder someone, wouldn't you tell?
I guess it's why.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. Also, the papers are a little bit, like I said, this bar for morality. They are saying
it's ridiculous.
Things like they're ripping Cordelia apart for her appearance. They're also ripping her apart because she was intimate with a man who wasn't her husband. Even though Welcome, I think, also has a mistress. Like, that's their arrangement.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure
they say things like Cordelia, John, and Beverly and his girlfriend, so her grown son and his girlfriend, would go to the races, and then they'd go back to the Hotel Victoria where Cordelia and John both had a room. They rented separate rooms so they could be near each other.
Oh, okay.
And they would lay on the bed and tell racy stories, and then Cordelia would dance. And I'm like, that just sounds like 4 people hanging out, but they're not laying on the bed naked. They're just like laying down because it's the only place. If you're in a hotel room, there's not a lot of places to sit. I'm like, that's not as shocking as maybe it was in 1898.
Yeah.
But still, let's not murder Cordelia.
Yeah, don't do it.
So on December 30th, the jury took 4 hours
Happy New
to
Year.
deliberate, and they came back with a verdict of guilty.
Not surprising.
Yeah, Cordelia was sentenced to life in prison.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was about to ask if she's still alive.
Yeah, she looks fantastic for her age. In March of the following year, Welcome was finally able to get a divorce because you can if your spouse is a felon.
Got it.
And sadly, he had paid for all of her legal defense and had pretty much depleted his funds. And he quietly divorced her and moved on with his life.
Did he welcome somebody else into his marriage bed?
He did. He had a longtime mistress. Yeah. So Cordelia files an appeal because they made a mistake on her trial, and she is granted a retrial in 1904. She's again sentenced to life in prison.
Well, she tried.
But she has to wait for the Supreme Court ruling, which takes some time. So while she's waiting for the Supreme Court ruling, she is housed at the county jail. Now, the original judge, Judge Cook, who presided over her first trial in 1898, between 1898 and 1904, his wife passes away. So he takes public transportation to go visit her grave every Sunday, which happens to go by the county jail. And one Sunday, he's on the, I don't know what it is, a car, a bus, whatever. He's taking his drive out and he sees Cordelia
posing.
Get off the bus, stop at the prison, and go right back up to the prison. And he is shocked. He launches an investigation into the prison.
Why is she not in it?
Yeah. He finds out that Cordelia has some pretty nice accommodations at the prison because she's getting things in exchange for favors with the guards.
Ew. Wow.
Yeah. If this woman could bottle her pheromones, she would have been a millionaire. So she has like a nicer cell. She has some luxuries, and apparently she's allowed to go out and about with one of the guards when she wants. So he brings this up to the prison, and they all get real tight-lipped and say, "That's no. They won't admit to it. They won't admit to it. Cordelia uses this as an opportunity to say, "Oh, see, I told you I didn't do anything. I have a doppelganger running around killing people. It's not even me. It's just my look-alike. It's just my look-alike." And that gets squashed pretty quick. Oh. So in 1906, the San Francisco earthquake happens.
Oh, no.
7.9. It ruins part of the county jail. So Cordelia gets transferred to San Quentin. Oof. So much for the luxury accommodations. That's serious. And in 1908, the Supreme Court agrees with the initial rulings that, yes, she's guilty and you should stay in prison for the rest of your life.
Oh.
So Cordelia has to spend her time. I mean, I don't know if the guards were as nice to her.
Yeah.
In San Quentin. But while she was in jail, she has this massive run of people she loves dying. So right after the trial in 1900, her father dies. Then Welcome dies in 1904. Exactly 1 year later, her son Beverly dies in 1905, both of them from a heart condition. So it's probably genetic.
Wow.
John Dunning dies in 1907, an alcoholic.
Yeah, he's not in the best health.
It didn't go well. His life didn't end well. And then 2 of her siblings die in 1907 and 1909. With every death, Cordelia is said to get worse and worse. The sadness of it is too much for her.
God.
And on March 7th, 1910, she dies in prison. It was thought that the losses caught up with her, and the official cause of death was softening of the brain due to melancholia. I mean, she just deteriorated.
Not sure that's a real thing.
It's not anymore. But she just deteriorated.
Got it. She lost the will to live.
Yeah. Because everybody she loved died. And she was stuck in prison, and you can't cage a woman like that.
Apparently not. Good Lord.
So that's Cordelia.
Okay. Chocolates and love.
I'm going to pose with my hands behind my head all the time now.
Yeah. Watch out. You risque little woman.
It's so risque. But poor Elizabeth. Ugh.
Yeah, it's terrible. And a terrible way to die, too.
Yeah, awful.
I feel awful like if I was dying like that, I would want someone to just smother me with a pillow.
Well, there was a chance she could have survived, right? Everyone else survived, and they thought that Elizabeth might survive it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, and she has a little daughter. She was trying to.
Ugh, sucks.
Yeah. But this does remind me of the time that my dad mailed me ham.
Is it time for that story?
I think this is a good time. So
I think it is.
I'm a vegetarian, but my dad and my husband eat everything. And my dad, he tasted this really good ham, and he wants Brad to have it. So he calls me up. He says, "Hey, I'm mailing Brad a surprise." I was like, "All right, it's a ham. It's really good." I was like, "Oh, okay. Is the company sending it?" "No, I sent it." I'm like, "You sent it yourself?"
This is Roger voice, by the way.
Yeah, it's my dad's voice. I said, "You sent it yourself?" "Yeah." I was like, "Did you use dry ice?" "What's that?" I'm like, "Well, Dad, how is this staying good?" He's like, "No, I froze it." I'm like, "It's frozen?" So I'm picturing a frozen spiral ham coming our way across the coast, because we're in California. He's in New Hampshire.
Right, literally across the coast.
Weeks go by. Weeks. And Brad and I come home, and we smell this terrible smell at our doorway. And there is a paper priority envelope with deli sliced ham in it.
Wasn't it dripping?
Leaking. He literally froze deli ham. And then, of course, I don't know if you don't have to be a physics major to understand that it thawed on the way from New Hampshire to California. And then it melted the envelope and ripped through it. And the reason it had taken so long to get to us is because my dad also put the wrong address on it. And I'm pretty sure our mailman was just like, "I can't take the smell of this in the collections anymore." And he just threw it at our door. It was the most disgusting thing ever. Also, my dad's a mailman,
So yeah, that was I love that story so much.
Yeah, my dad just laughed. He's like, "Good, don't eat it." I'm like, "Yeah, we're all set. Thanks. We're not gonna eat it." It was so gross.
God, what if it dripped on other packages and letters?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, that was almost murder by mail. I mean, if Brad had eaten
Roger, watch out. God. And you were in an apartment at that time, so anybody else in the hallway got to smell it too.
It smelled so bad. I was the whole way to our apartment. I was like, "God, who is being so irresponsible with their garbage? They need to clean up." I was so mad. It's like, this is disgusting stench.
Oh, it's me.
Oh, wait, it's my father. 1 second. Stench by mail. Thousands of miles.
By mail. Classic Raj.
Classic. Yeah, see, he means well. He just wanted Brad to try that yummy ham. You know.
Yeah, your dad and I are accomplices at Megan's wedding. They did like a really fun father-daughter dance. Is it from Dirty Dancing?
Well, I mean, don't say it like that. That's confusing.
No, like that dance where they go.
Yeah, we pretended to do the lift. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, the lift,
because I would have crushed my dad.
But so they started
as a short, stout, flashily dressed woman.
A sweet father-daughter dance, and then they went into this really fun dance. But they needed someone to catch Roger's jacket when they were going to the fun part. And that's when our relationship started, and we've been going strong ever since. We're pals.
And it's weird because my dad had never met Alana. Alana and I had been friends for a while, but he'd never met her. But he'd seen her on my Facebook. And so my dad literally said to me, like, hey, your friend Alana going to be there? I'm like, yeah, why? Can she catch my jacket? I'm like, I guess. I can ask her why. Like, can't you just throw it and let whoever, like, just throw it if you need to take it off? No, she looks really athletic. I'm like, okay, this isn't, I mean, yeah, but this isn't, the major leagues.
Hey, I don't know. I don't know. This is a pretty good catch. Okay.
Pretty sure
There's some
anyone could catch a piece of fabric.
How dare you?
Sure.
A lot went into that.
If you look at the video, like, my dad loses you for a second and he frantically searches to find you and only you to catch that gosh darn jacket.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, Raj.
Problems.
Good times.
Anyway. Yeah, good times. So don't
go chasing waterfalls.
Mail poison or
ham.
Deli meat.
Without dry ice.
Yeah. I mean, just go through a company, like Omaha Steaks. That's the way to do it.
Gold Belly.
Sure.
They both do not sponsor us.
No, but they can.
But they
if
could.
They'd like to.
Sponsor
two tea-drinking vegetarians. teatimecrimes@gmail.com.
We're a perfect audience.
Perfect audience. Can't think of a better match. Actually, honestly, you'd probably make your revenue just in Brad and my father. So.
And Christopher. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
We have very hungry husbands.
Yeah. Speaking of Christopher, your tea review last week, you said, hold on. And I quote, you said, no taste, but you can feel the body was your last tea review. So you said you were going to have Chris try it as a second opinion.
I did.
To see if he agreed.
And? So I saved a little bit at the bottom. And I said, try this.
I figured it wasn't from the top.
I said, try this. And he said, all right. And he tried it. So I said, what does it taste like? He said, tastes like nothing. So there was just no flavor to it. Actually, eventually he said, tastes like burnt leaves, but mostly nothing.
Burnt leaves. Okay. Again, glowing reviews.
Yeah, was that did that get a thumbs down?
You said no thumbs. You wouldn't even give it a thumb.
Okay. Wow.
Because it didn't taste like anything.
Yeah.
How do you rate it? You felt that.
You just felt the body.
Good. Any last words?
Go for good crystals, not bad ones.
Geology crystals.
Go for topazes. That's a gem, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Not arsenic rocks crystals. Okay?
Yeah.
That's my advice for the day.
If a guy leaves you to go back to his wife, just say goodbye to him.
It's probably for the best.
Go eat the chocolates yourself.
If someone's trying to leave you, don't fight for them.
No.
Because they're value yourself a little bit more. And there are 7 billion people, I think there's more than that at this point, in the world. You're going to find someone who values you and who's not trying to leave you. So cut it.
Yeah.
Eat chocolates and get over it, but not ones full with arsenic.
Yeah. All right. You heard it here first. All right. Yep. You can follow us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram at
Tea Time Crimes.
You can email us at
teatimecrimes@gmail.com.
Your voices are the worst. Rate, review, subscribe, please.
Tell your friends and your poisoners and your lovers and your ex-lovers to listen to the podcast.
Yeah, listen to the podcast, but please don't tell any murderers.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah, I guess if they're going to like it, Tell your friends is what we're getting at.
Yeah.
And don't listen to Alana being weird. And we will talk to you soon. Thank you for listening.
Bye. Bye.